Hi there. Welcome to practice. Happy Monday and a great big happy birthday to Holly and to her new, who both had birthdays over this weekend. I had an amazing time at the Goddess Crafts Fair in Sebastopol. It was busy and wonderful and full. Um, and I didn't get home because I had to drive through I have to drive home afterwards. And so I didn't get home until almost 2 in the morning. So I'm a little bit groggy, but I woke up to the most beautiful snow. I wanted to beat the snow home, and I did. So I hope everyone had a good weekend and is having a good Monday so far. And let's get into our practice. I just did a tally of our mantra counts, and we are over 866,000 at this time. So please do keep adding your counts in the comments when you chant along with me. And just to remember that if you chant both mantras with me for all the rounds, we count it as 324 recitations because it's 324 of each mantra, and we're doing a count of each. So hope that makes sense. And maybe depending on the weather, it's actually way too wet and snowy out right now to be able to get to do an outdoor practice. But maybe if it's not as heavy and wet, like if we get a little more powdery snow this week, I can do a snow practice, which I always love to do. We are in the month of the Deer Mother in the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple, and we're working with the Woodland Wardens Oracle by Jessica Rue. And it's a beautifully illustrated deck that pairs animals with flowers, plants, and herbs. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the purification of the Deer Mother. When the Deer Mother ascends the mountain, victorious in her splendor, she brings with her the elixir of the forest, with precious incense, fragrant and sweetly scented. The mountain is purified, the forest is purified, the waters are purified, the animals are purified, the deities are purified, the spirits are purified, our homes are purified, our families are purified, my life force is purified, your life force is purified. Obstacles removed, wounds are healed, good words are spoken. All around us is purified, is purified, is purified. Our card today is the sheep and blackberry, and the key word is devotion. Yeah, Molly says, I'm so glad you got home safely. It was actually really interesting. As I was driving home, Albert said, well, a storm's coming in the next couple hours. So, you want to get here pretty soon. I was like, well, I'm getting there as fast as I can. And I said, as long as the temperature is above 32, I'll be fine. And just as I pulled off the exit to get to my house, I watched the temperature in my car go from 33 to 32. And all of a sudden, the rain started turning to sleet and snow. And I just kind of slid my way just that last little bit home. I'm so glad that it held out, and that's a good cause, I think, today for devotion to Aphrodite Euploia, she of the fair voyage. So the sheep and blackberry calls us to focus on our commitments, whether they're to a partner, a job, a creative practice, or a spiritual tradition. Sheep are innocent and vulnerable. They must be watched over and guided. Blackberries are symbols of protection with their large brambling thorns. Their abundant fruit also symbolizes prosperity. Combining the energies of these two gives us a direction to honor our promises, allowing them to fruit and to flourish. In what people or practices do you find wisdom and stability? Remember to care well for these sources of guidance and protection. You can be your own guide too. Your wisdom comes from within, and it is your responsibility to also impart this gift as an exemplar, a mentor, or a teacher. And our question for contemplation today: how can I better care for my relationships, my spiritual practices, and my work? A really thoughtful card for us today. Devotion, I think sometimes people think of devotion as obligation, but devotion is a joy. It's something that we get to do, not something that we have to do. I mean, we do have to do it in terms of like we also have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to do the things that nourish us. But devotion for its own sake, and this is really important, devotion is not the same as petitioning. Sometimes it's been my experience that sometimes when you get into a space where people are all wanting to express devotion, it can quickly turn into asking for something, petitioning, where everyone's kind of bringing their requests. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with petitioning, but devotion is separate from petitioning. Devotion is an art unto itself. The art of devotion is basically the art of hospitality toward the divine. So we create a beautiful altar, not because the divine needs a beautiful altar, but because we need a beautiful place to perform our practices and to lay our offerings. We make offerings not because the divine needs offerings, but because those offerings are a gesture of appreciation, a generous gift from our hearts that says, I care, I'm grateful. Thank you. How can I tend? And when we sing or chant or make other types of, non-physical offerings, we are creating a pathway using the breath in order to commune and communicate with the divine. So no aspect of devotion necessitates asking for anything. In fact, I would say devotion is the art of offering. Asking for something is also an art, but it's a separate art. Petitioning is its own art. We don't make offerings because we want to get something. In it's sort of like, you know, you know how like sometimes if a little kid wants, to stay up late or whatever, some of you who are moms might recognize this. They'll walk up and they'll be like, "Mommy, you're so beautiful. I love you so much." And after a little while, the mom might kind of be like, "Oh, thank you, baby, but what is it that you want?" And I think sometimes we have to remember that the divine might see us that way. If we're like, "You're so wonderful. I love you so much, but can I stay up past my bedtime?" Like it's a little bit it's a little bit manipulative 3-year-old of us to only bring devotion when we're asking for something. So let's make an art of each. Let's make an art of giving and an art of asking. And the art of asking is the art of honestly revealing the vulnerability of desire within our hearts. And the art of devotion is giving from our hearts, knowing that our hearts are already full and overflowing, and that it is with appreciation that we give. So let's practice the arts of devotion today. I know exactly why this card came up. It's a great reminder for me. When I was traveling, I made the promise to, at various times in my travels, to Aphrodite Euplea and to Oshun, that I would give them a bottle of honey wine in gratitude for things going smoothly. Um, there were times when it was just, the mark, the stamp of those beings was on something that happened, and it happened in such a specific way that I had to kind of be like, "I feel you. You are here. You are watching over me and watching over us." And so in both of those instances, I said, "I'm going to get you a bottle of honey wine." Well, the trouble is, where I live, you can't get honey wine. You have to drive for at least an hour to get it. So I haven't gotten down there until this weekend. So this past weekend, I went out and I got each a bottle of honey wine. Um, and today I am going to uncork those offerings. And here in this little wonderful snowy winter wonderland of the day, I'm going to offer my devotion. And I hope that you'll find a beautiful, quiet, reverent moment of your own to offer your gratitude for all that is in your life, all the good that's already happened, all the times they already had your back, and to make an art of that gratitude. Let's do it. And Jenny, oh, my sweet sister, I see that you're back. I'm so happy. Our sister Jenny, who we were praying for in the last few weeks, finally came home from the hospital, and I'm so, so glad. I'm so relieved. Um, that's definitely worth offering a bottle of something. I'll add one for you today, Jenny. Okay, let's get into our practice. 3 prostrations before the shrine of Guan Yin. All right, let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And today we are holding Jenny, we're holding Paris's family who are still recovering, we're holding Heather who's still recovering, we're holding everybody, Dorothy who's feeling much better now, Tanya who's feeling much better now, but there's been a wave of health difficulties. And today I'd like to also add Mercy to the list. She's having an exploratory procedure today, hopefully to finally get some answers because it's been a very difficult time. And let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Guan Xiyin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Oh, I just need a little more water. Omahum. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guan Yin, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. And we're doing 324. Remember, it's 108 regular and 216 rapid of Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxi Pusa. Namo Guanxi Pusa, Namo Guanxin 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 Pusa. And now 2 rapid recitations. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Guanxin Pusanam 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 Guanxin Namo Guanxin Pusanam 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 Namo Guanxin Pusanam 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 Namo Guanxin Pusanamo 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 Namo Guanxin Pusanamo 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 Guanxin Guanxin Pusanamo 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 Pusanamo Namo Guanxin Pusa. And remember, we have a new intermediate prayer. It's a prayer called For the Mani Reciter of Kham. It was in response to a request from a Kampa Mani reciter. The Dharma professing monk Tokme wrote this in the Dharma fortress of Ngulchu. And it's by Gyaltse Togme Jangpo. Lama Dankun Chuksum Lachas Lama Dankun Chuksum Lachaksa Lo Daki Ni Chang Chubning Porchi Ki Bar Gangdang Gangdu Kipa De Dang Der Taktu Tukje Chenpu Jinsing Ching Gusum Gewe Chula Chupar Sho Jamdang Ningje Chenpu Kunlang Ne Tukje Chenpu Dujar Gyurpanam Lame Changchup Chokla Gope Chir Tukje Chenpo Trinle Chepar Sho. Homage to the Guru and Three Jewels. From now until I reach the essence of awakening, no matter where I may be reborn, in those places, may I always follow the great compassionate one and dedicate my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Inspired by loving kindness and great compassion, in order to lead all of Mahakarunika's followers, that's the great compassionate one's followers, to supreme and unsurpassable awakening, may I carry out the great compassionate one's activity. And this is, I think this prayer is the essence of devotion. Lama Dankun Shiksum Lakchak Salo Daki Changchub Ningpor Chike Bar Gangdang Gangdu Kipa De Dang Der Taktu Tukje Chenpu Chetsin Ching Gusum Gewe Chula Chopar Shok Jamdang Ningche Chenpu Kunlang Ne Tukje Chenpu Dujar Gyurpanam Lame Changchub Chukla Gope Chir Tukje